Dark mode enabled. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. And today we're going to be talking about SEO sorcery. Or is it? Dun, dun, dun,
Ooh,
dun.
hello. I don't know. Is it sorcery? I don't think it is. You and I have been doing SEO for a very long time, my dear. Like,
It's changed quite a bit.
it has.
And I've got a lot to say about it.
Ooh, me too. Girl, I cannot wait to get into this conversation. But before we do, just a little housekeeping. We are here in dark mode, the live podcast. If you are listening to the replay on Spotify, on YouTube, or wherever you listen to your podcast, thank you so much for joining us. And if you would like to join us for a live podcast and get on the podcast, join us every Thursday here on LinkedIn at 11 a.m. EST. Because, I feel like we're doing a great job with dark mode, Miss Jane.
We are kind of biased, but honestly, our commitment has been impressive even to me.
And I do want to apologize because I did not get the episode up with Jen Wells yet. The ChatGPT Chronicles is up. Hopefully by end of day today, I will have the episode with using data to decide with Jen Wells, our special guest. So I'm super stoked about that one. That was a great conversation, to be honest with you.
It is,
So,
we know we need to be tracking our shit, but I don't think people realize how easy it was, and how important.
And also how to figure out your data, but also what are the things that we can't even track. So that was a really good conversation. But Miss Jane Clark with Catching Up with Cox and Clark.
Catching Up with Cox and Clark. It's like a child cartoon and I love it.
So Jane, let us know what has been happening with you.
Gosh, again, I'm just super focused. Nothing too crazy. Brooke Miles just posted that she's a speaker for Social Media Day, and I guess I can mention that I'm going to be on a panel. I'm not entirely sure what the details are yet, but I will also be there. And it's going to be in October, so
I'm very sad. Very sad. I should have just put myself in as a speaker, even though I wasn't going to be there in June, and then because it got moved to October, so now I'm like, oh, I know. Man. But I'm gonna try to do something. I'm gonna maybe get a booth or something, or just even attend just to support my fellow ladies in social media and marketing, because it's gonna be an amazing event with everybody. I just can't wait. And Nancy Dybert throwing it. So
yeah, Nancy's throwing it. They've been doing a phenomenal job. Really excited and can't wait to see what happens. But Delaware needs a social media day, and here it is. Yes. It's arrived.
I know. Well, they already have a social media day down in. They always hold it down in Del Tech and in Smyrna, in the lower part of Delaware. And that's great for everybody who's in Rehoboth and whatnot and the beach area. But we kind of need one up here near Newark and Wilmington. You know what I mean?
I agree. There's a lot of people here, and I completely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I always thought that Del Tech should have moved it up here to one of their Wilmington campuses, but that's just my opinion. So what else is going on?
Gosh, the sad thing is all the art schools that were closing, but let's not depress ourselves completely with that. Seriously. That's something else. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I'm just working my ass off and trying to enjoy summer here and there. Full disclosure, on Tuesday, I absolutely played hooky, and I play video games all day. There, now you know my secret. So and that really helps me. If I'm feeling that, then that means I need to take care of myself, and I've reached a burnout mode, because every morning, I'm jazzed to go to work. And if I'm not jazzed to go to work, then I just let myself not be jazzed, and I go do something else if I can, clear my schedule if I can, and just putting in those boundaries with myself is really helpful.
I love that so much. I love that you have that flexibility, and that's what I love being a business owner and entrepreneur, is that we do have that flexibility.
Yeah, and I want my people to have that flexibility as well.
That's right. That is right. So, what's going on with me? I was on DETV the other day. That was very exciting. I got a phone call from Ivan Thomas. He works a lot with DETV, and that's on Channel 28 locally. And I'm now part of a show called Her Perspective. I'm not sure if I'm going to be constantly on there. I have no idea. But in the YouTube, it did state that it was hosts Heather Cox. And I was like, oh, I'm a host? Ooh. So yeah, that's very exciting times. I recorded on Tuesday night. I was literally in my PJs ready for by like 4 o'clock. I was in my PJs. I was like, I am ready to just relax. And I'm a mom. Don't judge me. And so then I had to get out of my PJs and do my hair and makeup. But it was a really great time. It was great. So you can watch it on YouTube. Just search DETV Her Perspective. And then that'll pop right up for you on YouTube. What else is going on?
Looking forward to listening
I've
to
just
that.
been
Oh,
bored girl summer, tired girl summer. I just want to lay down. Like I'm tired. I think I burnt myself out a little bit, but
yeah,
I
it can
think I'm
happen.
on the upswing again. It always kind of happens like that. I just go push, and then I'm like, oops, burnt myself out. So I'm gonna sleep for 3 days and then not post on social media at all. And then you'll see, oh, okay, I'm back. Post, push. Oops, I burnt myself out again. So I just need to watch myself and not burn myself out, to be honest with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but that's what's going on with catching up at Cox and Clark. Very exciting time. So today we are talking about search engine optimization, and if you have that SEO sorcery, and how we can help. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments here. If you're rewatching this on YouTube, I believe Spotify is actually going to be adding comments to the
Oh,
Spotify.
cool.
That would be
Okay.
awesome, so that we can, answer questions.
So long as they're nice.
Dude, that would be so fun. That'd be so
Don't you guys come here and say mean shit to me or I'll cry my little eyes out.
Right? I feed off of the meanness of the comments. Give me more. It fuels me. I eat your negative comments for lunch, and then I go record another podcast. You know what I mean? So please. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions about search engine optimization on the replay, just drop them in the comments on YouTube, and also just even here, if you guys want to come back to this LinkedIn event, because it does live on after the recording, you can always come back and ask. But I know I have tons to say about search engine optimization, but I know, Jane, you also have, you have been doing this forever as well. It's 15 years, right? Because you have been working with SEO and websites, right? So it's kind of like hand in hand. So I would just love to hear exactly what nuggets you have for us.
Yeah, my gosh. Well, first of all, I was working as like a designer slash administrative assistant when I quit my job due to insert reasons here. And I started my own company. It was supposed to be temporary. It wasn't. And I started with web design because I've been doing it since the 90s. Like I have been on Front Page, GeoCities, Angel Fire, all of those interesting posts.
That.
And, we lived in a world where people would absolutely love to download your font and see it in all its glory. But we don't live in that world anymore. And so when we serve up websites, they have to be relevant and meaningful for the person going there. And we can do that in a variety of ways. But let's just talk about getting visitors to your site. And there are some basics that I'm going to cover. And then Heather is going to bring in some insights that I probably don't even know, because you do the basic organic SEO and then you have other options. And you have online SEO and offline SEO. What I mean by that is actually on site and off site. So there are things that you can do with your SEO that you don't even have to touch your website for. However, if you're working with a company, there's no way you're going to get amazing rankings without making sure your website's being coded correctly and that the keywords are in the right places. So if they didn't touch your website at all, I would be very wary of a SEO company if they don't even log in. So
Period.
Period
On that one.
And there's one simple Michelle also finds this comical. There is one simple rule with SEO, and that is whatever key phrase you want to be found for needs an entire page dedicated to it. And we can quibble about the number of characters and all that stuff, it also depends on what your competitors are doing. Take a look at your market. Take a look at some key phrases you want to be found for. Are they the right key phrases? I had a client who wanted to be found for sandwiches, and I'm like, hey, guess what? I can't do that for you. Because you're going to get ice cream sandwiches, subs, you're going to get cheesesteaks, you're going to get, so like, you're never going to be found with just sandwiches.
Yes, yes, yes.
So and
even
so
though your
let's
sandwiches may be super yummy, you still won't be found.
Yeah, exactly. And the number one thing that you can do right now to impact your SEO is going to be, um, I knew I was going to forget it. I absolutely knew. I'm not paying attention. Trying to read my notes here is, hold on. God, I need more coffee. It's painful this morning, people. Absolutely painful. Tomorrow is Friday, though, and we are going to
Thank
have a wonderful
Lord. Thank the
weekend.
Lord. Tomorrow's Friday.
God, what a day. All right. So, SEO, a whole page dedicated to it. And those key phrases have to be targeted. So, it has to be, sandwiches in Newark, Delaware, or even if it's a niche, like the Bobby, you can just use the Bobby, right? Because everyone in Delaware knows what that key phrase is. Um,
Yes. Oh my God. I
but
love that so
yeah,
much.
and so, depending on what your key phrase is, you have to make sure it's actually what people are typing in. Some things that I find is like if you're working in a very technical industry and using very technical words, you might find that your audience really isn't all that technical and they're not even typing that into the search engines. They don't even know what the hell that is. And so that's when you have to kind of meet people where they are and, let them know they are in the right place. You are the right person for them, blah, blah, blah. So the key phrases that you're optimizing for is important, especially for brand tone as well. But that's a whole nother thing. And you have to kind of come to terms with the fact that you're going to have to use words that you might not want to be known for in order to reach your audience. And that's a hard pill to swallow, to be honest. When I have to tell people, hey, you're not using the right words, well, we want to be different. And I'm like, yes, being different is always better than best. But if no one can find you, then that whole sentiment is just thrown out the window, right? So have a single page with one key phrase on it. You can use synonyms as well. Like, all right, let's say you want to be found for sandwiches, maybe you also be found for panini. And say you work the word panini in. And although it's not going to have the same hierarchy, it again just allows an alternative. So if someone is using that key phrase, you aren't completely missing. But the key phrases that you come high for really have to be sort of approved by the industry and the people in the industry. So Google Ads, even if you don't run the Google Ads, has a pretty nice keyword planner. So just take a guess on what you would search. Ask some friends, hey, if you were trying to find, someone to do your website, what are they going to type in? And just collect that data. But make sure that they would actually be a client and not just a friend, because your clients are the ones that might see you much differently. And so just keep that in mind.
That is an excellent
There's
point.
also scores for, oh, this is fun stuff. Now, I'm a little bit old school and I really enjoy Yoast. If you're using WordPress,
I
WordPress
love
is my,
Yoast so
yeah.
much. I will second that.
I just like it. There are other tools that people like better, so be it. They really all do the same shit, but I just really enjoy the process of creating redirects on the fly if I want to and getting the formula. And it really is, it's very, very formulaic. An SEO checklist is a point system. And some items are worth more points than others. And so let's talk about the ones that are a must, in my opinion. The first one is Google My Business or Bing Business Tools. They keep renaming their freaking services, but that's if you type that in, it will come up.
I know, and I could honestly care less about if somebody's like, oh well, they don't call it that anymore. I'm like, sir, have you been around since what was it, Google Plus? I will call it Google Plus all day long. Okay.
Google Wave. I
Yeah,
guess we thought.
seriously.
I thought honestly, just a real quick detour. Um, I thought that Google kind of scrapped Google Wave, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they tried it. It was invite only, and a lot of people were using it, and they loved the collaboration of it, and they killed it. But I think they did that in order to resurrect it as Google Docs.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So in a way, I'm like,
It's a
oh, maybe this
rebrand.
is
That's all they're
season. And
doing. Yeah.
and I'm like, my God, they rebranded it. Insane.
Again.
But anyway, yes. So SEO, and by the way, like we used to have black hat tactics, is what they used to be called, right? Where people would put all these keywords at the footer of their website, but then make it white on a white background so no one could see it. Well, Google started punishing for that. Just things like that. So really what we do as professionals is we say, okay, these are your people, these are who you need to reach, let's get you found. And from there, it's just making decision after decision that, builds that up. Your page title is actually a huge contribution to your SEO. So you could say services, the name of your services page, or you could say web design services in Delaware or something like that, or Delaware website design. Now, luckily, we don't have to, the consecutiveness of the words are no longer super important. They were pretty important. Like they'd have to be exactly the same key phrase in the title, in your H1, in your headline, in your first body paragraph, in the meta description, which is the description you see under websites when you do a search. Also, the length of those things. And if you're linking internally. So if you're linking your pages together, that lets Google know that it's all very relevant. It's going to index everything. And then you have the offline things, off website things.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about the off website things.
Off website things, yes. All right. So again, assuming your website's coded right, you're using the right content, you're good to go. But let's talk about what other things you can do that aren't too technologically heavy. The first one is to join as many directories as possible. Now, not like unknown crappy directories, but think of things, even if it's not necessarily a place you're going to be found, because these mega companies like Yelp, Manta, all those people, just for them to link back to you just lets Google know, oh, this is legit. These people are probably a legit business owner or what have you. And so you want to get as many as possible. Yelp, I don't get any reviews from Yelp, but I'm on there. Manta, what else do we have?
TripAdvisor.
TripAdvisor. Yeah, think about all the directories.
Foursquare back in the day.
Foursquare. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about that.
But now we're getting into like SMO, which like I mean, I want to talk about that, but yeah, let's just stay to the
Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And also, let's say that you are a woman-owned business, then you might want to consider joining women-owned directories. So just really think about where you can list your website. Now, I'm not saying you need to be super active on there, but the fact that you're even an option is important. And again, if you don't have a Google business listing, you're just not going to show up in Google. Especially now they have the lazy load stuff, right?
I feel attacked. I feel attacked.
I'm sorry.
Because I don't have a Google My Business listing.
Oh my gosh.
I know. But like, okay, we could talk about, okay, I think we need
SEO
to have
Delaware.
We need to have a Google My Business Day here on Dark Mode so that we can talk about it, because girlfriend, there are so many questions specifically about like addresses and all of that. So we're gonna have a dark mode about Google My Business. We're gonna put that on the list. But continue.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
I'm sad that I don't have one, but yes, I agree, Jane.
Gosh. I just typed in SEO Delaware, which I haven't done in a while, and I'm I'm skipping over the ads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 6 on Google. And, it's interesting. And something else you have to ask yourself, like, hey, do I want clients just coming to me for SEO? Or do I want to do that for clients that have already set them up for success? That's a whole nother conversation. But let's talk specifically about what we can control offsite. Now, another thing I like to do is when I have friends and we're talking about the same topics, we will often link back to each other's websites. An example of that, I have a friend named Sean. Hi, Sean, if you're listening to this. He has an AI company, Heather.
Nice.
So, yeah, I guess we're all like overlapping here. And I forgot I was going to say again. That's what I do. It's horrible. No more tangents. Jane's not allowed to go off topic. You know what my dad didn't tell me when I was a kid?
What's that?
That I had ADHD.
Oh, fun.
And he told me he was diagnosed and didn't even bother to tell me. And so I didn't realize I had it until much later in life.
You were talking about the tasks off of the website for SEO, and you were just talking about Google My Business.
Google My Business, Bing. All right. Off-site stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember now. AI. We're talking about AI.
Yes. Hello. Oh, no. Girl, you're going to make me edit this so much, I'm going to cry. So we are here live on dark mode. I don't know if we can hear her or not. Miss Jane, hello. Okay, well, we were just talking about search engine optimization and what the things that we can do offline. And I believe she was going into artificial intelligence. Jane, whenever you're here, just butt in or bounce out of the room and come back in. Raise your hand again. I don't know what happened to your mic. And this is the wonderful things that happen when you are recording live on LinkedIn for a podcast. So I know Jane was just gonna go in about artificial intelligence and how to use how to use artificial intelligence in with SEO. And I mean, there's multiple ways that we can go about this, but search engine optimization utilizing artificial intelligence. Number one, think about the search engine optimization of ChatGPT itself. So making sure that your website is actually optimized so that ChatGPT can find you. And ChatGPT, I don't even know. Oh, there we go. Jane, are you back?
Yes.
Yay!
Don't go to another tab and look at the comments of a event that you were logged into on
another. Don't do that. Do not ever open another LinkedIn tab.
So sorry. All right.
So you were about to go on regarding AI. Search engine optimization and AI.
Yes. So we realized that we were talking about the same topics. So he was writing about AOI and, what it could mean for everyone's jobs in the future. And my angle was more like how it's going to weed out mediocrity. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to edit this blog post and I'm going to link it to your blog post. And he said, that's interesting because I think I'll also do the same. And now you've created this backlink and it just creates so much trust, not only like for your brand, but also be careful not to hang your star on someone that you might not have a good reputation, because this could backfire, honestly. But for me, it hasn't. I try not to make decisions out of fear in that regard. So yeah, definitely get with your friends, see what they're doing. How can you guys conduct what you're doing? Is there any room for collaboration on that side? Because again, as many links that are referring back to you, and they're all really quality links, it's just going to bring you up and up and up. I think that's one of the biggest ways to do so, is just linking. And
I love how my thought process on AI SEO was completely different, because I was not going to even say what you said. I'm like, what I mean? Like when you bounced, I was like, okay, we're going to talk SEO. What do you think she's going to say in regards to it? And you did not. And that is why I love that you and I collaborate, because our brains are so different and look at things so differently and can talk about a specific topic so differently that it gives different insights too. And also shows that how different each marketing company, web design company, social media, whatever that may be, is so different, because everybody sees the world differently. So I don't know. I just like getting meta about that stuff.
Yeah, and it's so industry specific as well. Like if you're a service-based industry versus a product-based industry, this would be a whole nother conversation.
Yes. Oh my God, I love that so much.
Yes. I have some myths I want to talk about, but I don't know. Do you want to
Yes. Oh, girl, okay. Let's bust the crap out of them.
All right. SEO myths. Images help you rank for SEO.
I mean, as long as you are optimizing accordingly. So, metadata in there, your meta title, your alt text, even the description on the back end, even naming the image appropriately. Even going in, you can go in the back end of because I have a Paint Shop Pro. Is it Jask? It's like Paint Shop Pro 8 and 18. And then I can go in and add details to the back of the image itself. So you can rank higher regarding image search, but not
exactly.
Not sure.
Thank you. I was like, she's gonna get there. She knows what I'm asking.
But the question really is, does that equate to a higher ranking for a link itself? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
You've always
So the
wondered that.
images, I mean, you can alt tag the shit out of them, and I highly encourage it. Especially in our industry, we're very, graphical visuals, so it's worthwhile to do so. Because people get inspired, they want to see other logos and business cards or what have you. But yeah, so if you optimize all your images, it's not going to help you get found on the text-based search, which you're used to searching, only when you're doing images. And of course, same with video.
Now, one thing I have not tried, which I might go on mute and try right now, is utilizing ChatGPT to search for images via Bing to see if I need an image that has the keyword of burger in Delaware, and see if it brings back an image for me that has that alt text. I want to test that and see if that works. But yeah, that's amazing. Okay.
Yes.
What's the next myth?
The next myth is, hold on, I got to Google it real fast. I need to double check, okay? Once I was teaching a web design class, and I gave a CSS exam, and I got one of the questions wrong, and I was like, what the hell? And I looked back, and I was like, well, this is horrifying. So then I look at it, and I realized that it was like a trick question, and they were all right. And
oh my gosh,
whatever. I was real pissed about it, but then I felt a little bit better because it was lunchtime, and I was feeling better.
Hey man, progress over perfection.
Yeah, but anyway, they eventually got rid of that stupid question. So
well, there you go.
I'm vindicated. Does your domain name and how long it's registered for impact your SEO?
Okay, now this is a question which I believe Nancy went over in her SEO thingy. But also I read an article about stating that the longevity of a domain does actually, because the whole Google, their Google search data got leaked or whatever. So yes, I guess longevity of domain does help with search rank.
Yeah. And that's the number one question. And that's one of those things where I didn't have to nod and say, I'm sorry about that. You just started your company, but your main competitor's been in business 32 years, and you just got to give it some time.
Yeah. That's true.
5 years seems to be a decent amount of time where I think you can overcome that. But again, if you're neck and neck, that website's always going to rank higher. Nancy, she wants to come on. Let's bring her up.
Let's bring her on up. If LinkedIn allows us.
Hey, Stacy's here.
Hi. Oh no. Microphone?
Oh, unmute Nancy, and hopefully it won't kick you out.
There we go.
Hi.
Hey, I just wanted to make one comment about that.
Yes.
The age of the domain. So absolutely, the older the domain, the more Google juice it has. In March with the core update, one of the spam updates, they also said they're going after. So when an old domain expires, whether the organization has gone out of business or whatever, so one of those new black hat things was to scoop up that old domain name that has that 12-year history and then use it for all of these other nasty, but thinking they're going to have that Google juice. And it was working. But with the March update, Google said, you are number one on our hit list, and we're going to find you. Whoa. So they're using their old data from the previous, all of that website's old data that they're keeping. Think of a Wayback Machine, but it's Google's Wayback Machine that they had internally. And if all of a sudden you were selling widgets and now you're selling porn, they know that.
Wow.
And you are delisted. You are not just lowered. You are not just that pit. Everything, you are delisted.
Are you shadowed? Do they know they're missing or what?
I mean, they don't tell you because you can go into Web Console to see if you've got any strikes. But if they delist you completely and they've said that practice, they are just there's no second chance. You're delisted and it's permanent.
For that domain.
That domain, you're done.
Dude, what if because you know how people let their domain name register or expire by accident, then someone swoops it back up? I mean, and then tries to resell it from $2,500 back to them or something.
Right.
Ugh.
But
Crazy.
that's all. I just wanted to say that with that core update and the spam update
Dear
in March,
Lord.
that was one of their huge points in it, that they
Wow.
were doing that for domains that had expired, that black hats had scooped up and then were trying to leverage.
Wow, dude, that is bonkers.
It is.
Oh my
But it's
God.
also brilliant. It's
Yeah.
evil genius, but it's genius.
Yeah. Evil genius. Yeah, genius. Love it. Well, thank you, Nancy. I really appreciate that because, I mean, you are like, I think you always have your ear to the ground, your hand on the pulse of like what is happening with like search engine optimization. I mean, you are like one of the pros. So, thank you for coming on up
Thank
and
you,
being.
Nancy.
And
Now,
also,
now I
while you're
know.
up here,
Yeah.
we need to have you back on as a guest here on Dark Mode because we already had you on once, but we weren't recording then. So
That's true.
we kind of
Okay.
need
We're
you
not
back on.
recording.
Let me know when.
Okay.
And I wish I could stay for the rest, but we're doing home IV transfusions 3 times a day,
Yes.
and it's that time, so I have to go. But
okay. Well,
um,
hugs,
Donna said, "What's up?"
yeah, I
love,
will.
heart, and healing as well to the hubby. I hope he is feeling better, and you take care of yourself as well.
All right, and great talk here. I
Thanks.
love the SEO and making it accessible and understandable. Great job, both of you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nancy. Thank
Nancy.
you.
All right,
Love
bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
We love when an amazing guest pops on up and joins the live, which would also it is recorded. So now you're gonna hear Nancy on the recording on Spotify and YouTube of Dark Mode the Live podcast.
And I'm
So
excited for it because
I know.
I'm the kind of bitch that buys perennials. Like I don't want to just plan something once and have to replan it. I want it to keep planning, and so I'm all
Yes.
about the recordings.
Yes, me too. Me
Woohoo!
too. Oh, and I've been doing crazy shit with the recordings. I'm like, okay, then we're gonna take the transcription, and then we're gonna put it over to AI, and then like, I really want to start making like a blog section that's like, hey, did you don't have time to listen to the podcast? Click the link, and then they can get like a update or a breakdown of what was said
Cliff
during the
notes.
podcast. So kind of want to do that. But that's
I
just
bet you
me.
could take the transcript and then be like, Chat GBT, I want
Yeah.
you to turn this into
Yes.
a shortened, condensed summary. Too
Well,
long,
yeah,
didn't
so I
read it. I
kind of
bet
did
you.
that
Yeah.
and then I made it in an ebook. So I should
You're so resourceful, man.
Dude, I can't
So
help it.
resourceful.
But thank you guys so much for being here and listening to us talk about search engine optimization. We are here on Dark Mode, the live podcast. We're talking SEO sorcery. So, Jane, anything else you got for us regarding SEO?
I mean, lots and lots. I would just say a couple of things that will help you is, again, making sure that the key phrase you want to be found for has a whole page dedicated to it. Now, you're going to see a lot of numbers, but I find that the sweet spot for content that happens to still rank well is about 300 words. Now, if it's a blog, Google's looking for over 2,500 words. For something more like, how do I do this, right? That's what it's looking for. But for a service-based page, that's plenty of content.
Yeah.
And the content will always be what's most important. And there is something called the flesh reading test that I'm not sure if it's being phased out or not. I kind of disregard it because I disagree. It wants you to write in like a 5th grade level, right? But some
Right.
industries, that just isn't reality, especially if you know that the audience might be highly technical people, or maybe they're scientists. You have to decide for yourself, what's a good reading level. And so I didn't really feel like it contributes that much to your score. But again, it's something to keep in mind. So if you wrote all this copy and you're not being found, taking a look at why that is pretty key.
I agree with that. Yeah. And also auditing your website on a regular basis, which I am guilty of.
I think performance is so important right now, and that's really like what I've been fighting on a daily basis is the beauty versus the performance.
Yeah.
And making sure that's mobile friendly, because if your website does not perform well, it actually affects its SEO. So your load speed is actually a big part of SEO that people don't realize.
Yes. Oh my God, because if your load speed is like, if it's so slow, people are going to leave, and that's going to increase your bounce rate too.
Yeah.
So, and bounce rate, for those who do not know, it's when like, and I think of it this way because I mean, I'm from like East Coast girly, right? Like, so we say bounce, like I'm going to bounce out of here. Bye. See you. Like I'm bouncing. So when people say, when there's the bounce rate, it's people bouncing, it's people leaving, bye-bye, because
Yeah.
they don't want to be there anymore. So that's how I like look at the bounce rate. Essentially, if you have a low percentage of bounce rate, that means that people are kind of chilling on your website, looking over the things, not leaving as fast as if they went there. Then it loads for 30 seconds. Well, they're just going to be gone in the first 3 seconds. And
Exactly.
to be honest with you, even your site loading for 2 seconds is too slow. Imagine
my
2
website's
seconds.
too slow.
It's too slow. And I know that sounds crazy.
And I know it.
And I don't know if you know the story of Spotify. And there's this really great movie that kind of like sums it all up. But basically what they did was they only load a certain amount of the song so that when you click on it, it starts right away. There's no lag. And so they were trying to get it under a certain microsecond or whatever. They were trying to get it under some certain threshold that they noticed in their data that told them that people were leaving the app or leaving the song before it even loaded because it loaded too slow. So they did this thing where it was like they would cut up, like the way that the music is loaded on there, it's like chopped up. So it only plays a certain amount so that it loads faster. And then while you're listening to it, it loads while you're listening. So
buffer time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it's like, that's like for real, like that, the bounce rate is so important for not client retention, but like user retention.
Yeah.
To retain their eyeballs.
Yeah.
Retaining the eyeballs. So yeah, those are all great points, Jane. And I just wanted to touch a little bit more on the AI aspect because I feel like AI is going to help a lot of people with their search engine optimization. Let's say that you have a whole entire page of, copy, content, and you're like, okay, I made my page, it's published. You should copy that whole entire like page that you have and throw it into ChatGPT and ask it to analyze it for you. What are like the keywords that I'm talking about here? Is there a certain theme of keywords that have that are emerging in this copy? And then if you have a specific keyword that you really want to focus on for that page, you can take your copy, put it in there and say, ChatGPT, I want to incorporate this keyword. So let's take, for example, we are doing, social media strategy session page, right? And I do offer those social media strategy sessions. DM me if you want one. But the social media strategy page, my copy, my keyword would say social media strategy. That is, or social media strategy session. That's a long tail keyword, but that is super niche down because that is what somebody's looking for. They're not just looking for social media. They're not looking for social media strategy or strategist. They're looking for a social media strategy session. So that's super niche down. But what if my copy does not have that in the website, in the page itself? I would then take the copy from the page, put it into ChatGPT, say, hey, rewrite this copy to incorporate the keyword social media strategy session. And then it'll rewrite that copy for me so that it is optimized with the keyword. Then you can even say, okay, now write me an H1 title that also has the keyword in it. And then you can ask it, write me a meta description that increases return on investment and helps people find me. And then using this keyword, and then it'll give you a shortened description based off of your copy. So you literally can ask AI to do this for you, but you have to prompt it correctly. You also have to do your research before. You can't just be like, oh, let's just like pick a keyword out of thin air. Like, go do your research. So the other day I just finished my Connected Kid website, theconnectedkidbook.com. And I was doing my SEO research, and parental controls 4 is a huge keyword because when you look it up, parental controls for Roblox, parental controls for Xbox, parental controls for Facebook, literally parental controls for, so many parents are looking up a specific one. But if I just put parental controls or parental controls for, then it'll pop up and then they'll be like, oh, wow, there's a guide that has all of the parental controls just in one guide. So think about how you are creating your copy, how you're creating your meta descriptions, your keywords, but doing the research. Just, dude, guys, go over to Google. Literally Google search. Now make sure you're logged out though. And I've seen this. If you're logged in with Google and you're trying to do like a Google search research thing, it's not gonna, like you can't be logged in because it shares that. What I like to do is I like to not be logged in incognito mode so that I do my Google research on Google search where it's just a clean slate. It has nothing to do with me. There's no cookies kind of, skewing the search information. So Google search, I mean, if you guys don't want to use Google Webmaster or Bing, Webmaster, then just a simple Google search will help you determine your keywords. And it even has the, what is that auto drop down, that fill in, right? So if I put in parental controls for, well, the drop down underneath is going to give me all those keywords that people are looking for. So keyword research directly in Google, but also utilize AI. And going back to what we were talking about in regards to, oh my God, it did it. Shut up. Okay. I need you to find me an image using Bing.com that has the keyword of Delaware restaurant burger. Searched 5 sites. It found some great images of delicious burgers from Delaware restaurants. For example, the Red Fire Grill and Steakhouse in Hockessin serves a standout burger topped with aged cheddar. Another spot, Farmer and the Cow in Wilmington. And then it gives me the images. Like, I can click. Oh, actually, no, it gives me the websites. Interesting. It did not. Can you give me the specific image? I found one image for the main images. Check out their Instagram. No. So it's not giving me the image per se, but it is pulling from image search to give you the information about where the image came from. So, I mean.
Yeah, it's like a human.
I think people need to optimize and add alt text to their images because ChatGPT can read those. Because ChatGPT is not reading images. It's not looking at an image. Oh, okay, no, I might take that back. Because I ask ChatGPT to read my images all the time, especially with like an alt text. So let's use that as an example. I talked about this at the social media conference down at Dell Tech when I was a speaker there. Utilizing AI to write your alt text for it. So I can take an image. And I'm going to upload one right now. I'm doing this live. So I'm taking this image. So describe this image and then write me an alt text for the image that is SEO optimized, but also for the accessibility, because that's what alt text is for, accessibility, but it could be used also for search engine optimization. So I told it to describe this image and now it's telling me exactly what it says. It says, here's the SEO optimized alt text, professional recording setup at Realcomm Live, one of my clients, highlighting beyond the hype business-driven technology strategies for a shifting CRE market with urban skyline backdrop and event logos from Realcomm and IBCon. That's my alt text that I can put within my image on my website to optimize so that people can find my images, but also AI can find my images. So, I mean, if I had a mic, I do have a mic, but I don't want to drop it.
Oh, wow. Boom. Sorry, that was the sound of your mic drop. Boom.
Boom, boom. Bow, 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 bow. I feel like we need the bow, 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 bow. But yeah, I mean, so I could go on about how AI has, helps with search engine optimization. But I will say, Jane, and I want to drive this point home about what you said, is making sure that you only have one keyword per page. Because the way that these web crawlers work, essentially, these Google indexers, is that they're going to index your site and they're not going to be looking at like your layout or your color scheme. They're going to be reading like your XML sitemap, and they're going to be reading the text that's on your website and the text that's on the alt text of your image. Like, it's not there to like visually look at it. It's there to scrape the data from your website. So you need to make sure that everything is organized and in categories and silos of themselves, right? And I know people love, and I don't know what this is about, Jane. I don't know. I wish people would stop doing this because you're hurting your SEO by doing this. By having so many different places and platforms across the internet. Like, okay, let's say you have like your website, but then you have a website for your blog, but then you have a website for your portfolio, but then you have like your funnel website, but then you have like your Patreon, which is like great, but like everything needs to be under one roof. But there's a way to segment everything out under that one roof. And I feel like a lot of people are kind of like screwing up their SEO because they have everything segmented out on different domains. It makes you look like you have no idea what you're doing. But then when you go and try to like change, let's say like something's not working, like your blog's not working, well, then you go and you try a different platform for a different blog, and then you're starting all over again. And now people ask why they're not being seen. So host your blog on your website, host your funnel page on your website, host your link tree on your website. Again, like you can have a link tree or associate tab all day long, but you're missing those clicks. You're missing the SEO benefits of having a quote unquote link tree hosted on your own website. So with me, it's heathercoxcodes.com/look-around. You're going to look around. You're going to see all the different buttons that I have on there, and you get to look around and look about more about me on that page. And I'm getting those clicks. You're on my website. You're clicking buttons. You're doing things. You're hanging out on my website. You're like, you know what I mean? So just don't segment your stuff out. Have it all under one roof. Because then also the longevity of your domain is going to be even better for you. Because instead of you hopping around, leapfrogging from, lily pad to lily pad or platform to platform, you're going to have longevity. So, I mean, again, I could go all day long about search engine optimization. And because, girlfriend, we are very passionate about this, especially since we're like WordPress designers that are steeped, that like lean heavily into SEO when we build.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point, right?
Right. I mean, like, how many times have you redone a website or went to go optimize a client's website that's already created, and like all of their images are just numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 without any alt text, without any titles, nothing. Like, and having to go turn around and literally optimize every single page because they have used the same keyword on every single page. Like,
people say that you shouldn't compete with yourself, but I'll tell you what, it feels damn good being second, third, and fourth in the fucking search engine.
Right. Right. And to be honest with you, like, I don't even know. I need to audit my website, to be completely honest, because I mean, when you Google Miss Jane over here, if you Google SEO Delaware or social media Delaware, you're on the first page. Like me, I'm like, meh, like I could care less if you find me via SEO because like, I guess I'm just so forward facing and I tell people and direct people to my website all the time and I'm boots on the ground marketing all the time. But I do need to audit my site and I do need to make my keywords better. I will say, I will call myself out on that front that I do need to do better on my own SEO, but SEO for clients is like what I love, what I just like live for because I'm just such a nerd with it. And it's kind of like you're a chef, you know what I mean? You're cooking all day, you're doing what you love, but who wants to cook when they get home?
Heather,
not me.
You're cooking. You don't even know it. Listen, your number, hold on. The government comes up first. 1, 2, 3, 4, social media day, Delaware, Nancy. Whoop, whoop. 5, 6,
I'm not.
7, 8. You're number 8 on the first page.
I am?
You are. In fact, my ranks dropped, and that's
No, but I literally just looked on my Google incognito.
Well, I just looked on my Google, and you're number 8. So.
Oh my god. Okay. Well.
You're doing it. Okay. I know. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it because
I'm just so hard on myself as business owners. We're just hard on ourselves. Like
we are. We know because practicing what you preach is. I think really important for people's integrity, and so I think that's why we're constantly disappointing ourselves.
Yeah, and like to be honest with you, it comes like because people on social media all the time are like, "Oh, you don't have that many social media followers. Like, how are you an expert if you only have 6,000 followers on Instagram?" And I'm gonna be like, because I don't have time to do my own social media because I'm doing other people's social media and actually like running my business and not like I need a social media manager for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of, I think I've said this before, but yeah. So I just, again, we could go on all day long about SEO. But
I do have 2 important takeaways before we go. And then
we do have our news notifications. Is there any news things that you want to touch on?
Any news things? No, there are no news things.
No
However,
news
I will say
that you want to highlight.
Yes. I wish I could. I'm going to look in the camera right in your eyes, people, and I want to say, if you're about to do a website redesign, please plan your SEO and what that's going to look like. So if you are redoing your whole website and you don't at least name the pages the same as they were, or if you update them for SEO, now everyone's going to find a 404 page and not get to where they need to go. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. Make sure you plan your SEO so that way no one gets page not found errors and they get to where they need to go.
And if you do not name your pages, rename them, get yourself a plugin, if this is for WordPress, a 404 redirect plugin that will basically mask that link and send them to the homepage instead of a 404 error. So just want to put that out there.
Yes. All right.
Anything else? I don't know. I don't think I have any news notifications except I was on the news the other day. So if you guys want to check that out.
Yeah, man. Not bad. Not bad at all.
If you guys look up YouTube, Her Perspective on DETV, Channel 28. It's a new show that I guess I'm going to be a part of, which is totally boss. So thanks for, that's my news notification of the day.
I'm excited, honestly, because
I'm going to talk to Ivan and get your ass on. Let's talk about it.
But I think you have a unique perspective, because you are 100% women. You're 100% woman, but at the same time, it's like that's not the most interesting thing about me, know. And so I think that perspective is really
one of the interesting things about Jane is that she likes to play D&D.
Whoa!
I'm just saying.
That is true. I can play D&D.
Many things about us. Okay, so let's see. I have. Make sure everybody checks us out on Spotify, right? Hi, Hildy. Thanks for joining. We only have a couple minutes left. If you missed the whole entire episode, don't you worry because you can check it out on Spotify and YouTube. The last episode, ChatGPT Chronicles, is up. The most recent episode on using data to decide, it will be up on Spotify and YouTube, hopefully today, fingers crossed. And this episode will be up hopefully before next Thursday, fingers crossed. And Jane, is there any other final words you want to say about search engine optimization to our amazing audience here?
Your domain name is important only if it contains the keywords you're going to be found for, and that those keywords are on your website. If they're not on your website, then you can buy a million domains as you want, but it's not going to help your SEO. There, set up.
I love that so much. Even if you forward it to the website, let's say if you have like DelawareSocialMediaGuru.com, and then I like forward it to Heather Cox Codes. Anything? No?
It's not going to help your SEO unless your website contains those key phrases.
Boom.
That's it.
Boom. So all you people using URLs out there because they think it's going to, increase your SEO because you have like 50 domains pointing to one domain, that's not helping you.
It's not helping you. And I had to break that to someone once, and he had like 50 domains and I felt him. I'm like, can't you just pay me instead? Please.
Yes, seriously. All right. Oh my
And
God.
mic drop, 2 mic drops
2
today.
mic drops. Oh my God. Okay. Well, everybody, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next time on Dark Mode next Thursday, 11 a.m. EST. If you want to be on the podcast, join us here on Thursdays at 11 a.m. EST. Raise your hand. Contribute to the conversation. We had the amazing Nancy Dybert on earlier today. So please join us. We would love to hear from you and see you and hear you. So thank you guys so much. Dark Mode disabled.